Hi Aquarius, this is your horoscope for January and Happy New Year to all of you. And especially if your ascendant sun or moon is in Aquarius. And I always advise you check your ascendant sign is the most important astrologically when it comes to predictions because this is how a professional astrologer will do for your horoscope. And you can find out your ascendant sign only if you know your time of birth exactly, and you can find it out at my birth chart calculator at Astro-Lada.com. And before I tell you the prediction, and I'm giving you a link here for the birth chart calculator, there is a table below. It will show you the exact ascendant degree and sign. Listen to this prediction. Anyway, before I start telling you the prediction, I want to tell you we are shooting from the ancient remains, archaeological remains of one of the oldest capital in Europe, of the mighty kings of Thracia. This is the town of Kabyle. It's existed. The ruins here date more than 6,000, 7,000 years before Christ, actually, and these. Most of those ruins are actually from Roman times, but underneath below they've been unearthing artifacts for thousands of years. So it's a magical and special place here, and I hope you feel the energy with me. Anyway, what does January, the start of the new year, hold for Aquarius? Well, actually, quite a few planets are triggering, they're sitting on a cross in the sky, and they're triggering all the so-called falling houses for Aquarius. These are the houses of completion, these are the houses of ending. This is not time to start new things for Aquarius, especially if your ascendant is in Aquarius, to a lesser degree your sun or moon. This is not time where you should be initiating new beginnings. This is time when actually should be completing things you started. Maybe completing a project you've been working on. Maybe some projects that you've forgotten and you left behind. Come back to it and complete it now. It's time of ending things when those so-called falling houses are triggered in your horoscope. It's time of actually improving on certain skills and adapting to new things, but not actively pursuing new things. Adapting to circumstances and situations as they are, but not actively pursuing new such experiences. So it's great time, to work maybe on perfecting some of your skills, on mental work as well. More like in the inner world sphere, working more on the inner world and on inner talents and skills rather than just focusing on outer things and running after new achievements. So it's time of endings, it's time of conclusions. Some of you might feel less motivated because there are 3 planets for a big part of January in your 12th house, which makes you feel 12th house is the last house of the horoscope of conclusions and endings again, as I said. And you might feel just like you need more rest, you might feel less motivated, you might feel less less driven for outer success. So it's important now to look within, to spend more time on your emotional state, on examining how the year was before that, on recapitulating and thinking on your actions, because after that all the planets start moving into your sign Aquarius, into the sign of Aquarius, and this is when the new beginning comes for you, but that's from the second part of January. It's the first 15 to 20 days you're much more focused on inner work, and it's good to just end things. And then when all those planets move into your first house, and it's good actually in the first part of January might be great time for you to go on holidays, to rest, to take it easy, to relax, but not in some unhealthy ways, which can be like wrong ways of escapism, like getting drunk too much or just watching TV all the time. But it's great time for going into your own fantasy world, spending time within yourself, spending time contemplating, meditating, resting, taking care just a little bit of your mental and emotional state. And it's time when you can spend more money, because 12th house is the house of spending and giving. The best way is to give charity, the best way is to help someone with your time, to help someone with your attention, with your kindness. If you don't do that, by inspiration, the universe will take it some other way through you by making you pay some bills that you didn't expect, or some other expense, or you spending on something that you haven't planned for instance. But just a bit more expenses tend to come during this period, and they can be for pleasurable things. It doesn't have to be negative, because it's positive planets that trigger your 12th house. Aquarius, it's Venus and Mercury, so you might spend it on friends, which is Mercury, on social do's, which is Venus, on pleasurable activities, on luxuries, on good foods as well. So it doesn't, all holidays. And then these planets from the middle of January 2014, they start going into your first house. So you start getting more empowered for action, for getting new projects started, for motivation. If you've been feeling a bit before that, after that, the opposite comes and you get the inspiration. You can start making new plans and you can start acting on them. And especially when Mercury goes into your sign, you can become much more better at organizing and managing things, which is from around the 12th of January till the end of January. So you'll be much more witty, sparky. When Mercury is in your sign, most of January, there is like a lot of more mental power for you, whether it's your sun, moon, or ascendant in Aquarius. You're just gonna feel more stimulated mentally, more witty, more able to communicate with others. If you have to make a presentation, do it when Mercury is in your sign. If you have to connect to friends, because Mercury rules friends and associates, do it when Mercury is in your sign. Actually, you might feel that a lot of friends are calling you a bit more, that you're having much more increased communications and busier communications, or maybe networking, interneting, connecting to other people's. Mercury is all this exchange of information that will be much busier. People who work in marketing and advertising, in social media and connecting, who works with media somehow, might find themselves much busier in January, especially from the 12th of January when Mercury goes into your sign, than before that. And Venus will, after that, Venus still stays in your 12th house for another month or two. So beware of hidden relationships, because this is what Venus does in the 12th house. Might make you have longings for someone that you're not willing to officially address, or even have a hidden relationships with someone. Or just Venus is the planet of pleasure and what gives us joy. And when it's in the 12th house, it might be more spiritual activities, maybe watching movies, maybe reading a book, more lonely activities, maybe just contemplating, maybe just drinking. That's one thing, Venus in the 12th. Or just solitary pleasures that you spend time alone somehow in the privacy of your home. The most healthy ones of those are maybe some meditation and this kind of activities, and holidaying as well. Which will continue actually in January and February as well. So great time for Aquarius to go on holidays for a few months ahead, to let go a little bit of things, to go to exotic places and to get some more spiritual, deeper understanding, because 12th house triggers these deep spiritual understandings people have. They might have some spiritual feelings of liberation and realization, which make you feel more connected to others. Actually, compassion increases a lot, and you find yourself much more compassionate for 2 months ahead in January, December as well, and February as well. You might find yourself giving much more of yourself to others, and particularly to people of the weaker sex, the females, because Venus signifies females. So you might be called to help on women in your life for a while now, for 2-3 months. Or if you're a male with Aquarius strong in your horoscope, ascendant, sun, and moon, and Venus is in your 12th house for a couple more months, it means that maybe you'll be much more willing to give to your wife. You'll be much more willing, if your wife is feeling vulnerable, to support her, to take care of her, and you feel like you have a karmic duty to give more to women, and actually you might, if you're not in a relationships, you might glamorize a woman, because 12th house does not see realistically things, and you might feel very romantic during this period. Definitely one of the most romantic positions is when Venus is in the 12th house, and it's not like sexual drive, desire for that person. It's much more spiritualized, much more refined type of relationships that you're drawn to, or the feelings that you experience to the object of your desire. And I just want to give you specific days. Those of you who have their moon or ascendant from 19 till 24 degrees in Aquarius, 19 till 24 degrees in Aquarius, plus minus a degree or two. And you can find out your ascendant and moon sign if they're in Aquarius from my birth chart calculator. There is a link for it. Or those of you who are born from around the 8th till around the 13th of February, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus minus a day or two, you're having Saturn transit, and Saturn transits, you will feel this. Things get more tougher, you might feel more down, you might have more responsibilities, things might be moving more slowly than you want, you might not feel the fulfillment of your work, you might feel hard on yourself, there might be someone like an outer figure who is more critical towards you and who is giving you more duties and responsibility. Saturn tends to bring vibrations down and tends to make you deal with survival issues, with issues about the most basic things in life. So you might be more fearful during this period. So make sure you spend more time out on sun to raise your vibrations. Make sure you get it directly on your skin, like the face and the hands. Make sure you eat lighter foods to raise your vibrations better. And don't despair. When Saturn is around, just work hard, do your best thing. Even if things are not going your way, whatever is supposed to stay will stay. Saturn is a separating planet, can cut off things from your life if they're no longer valid. But if you lose things now, whether it's relationships, career, whether it's hopefully not your hope, but material things and outer world things, if you lose them, know that it's for the best because they're no longer needed in your life. But a lot of things will be tested. Anyway, thank you very much, Aquarius, and I will see you next month.